Hello, all. Good morning, and welcome to the weekly whatever show. Should we
I
just
know.
change
What do
the
we
name for the
say?
summer? Oh, Lawrence, I've missed you so much. I missed the show so much.
I
It's,
know. And also, it's been kind of nice sleeping in a little bit. I
oh
mean,
my
I've been
God.
sleeping in. I'm sure you have.
Yes, that's very like the idea of sleeping even till as late as you get to sleep too for the show on the East Coast
Right.
sounds so indulgent. I have gotten a bit more sleep. And it has been a big week. My oldest is now a high school graduate.
Congratulations, kiddo. That's
Thank you.
amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. I am thrilled for her. And it's a big emotional week. It's a big plans week. It's not over. There's lots of parties this weekend and stuff. But the last day of school for both of my kids was Wednesday. We end pretty late out here in Washington. And then yesterday was the ceremony and I cried. Her preschool teacher showed up. She wrote me and so we got her ticket and she surprised Ainsley and showed
Aw,
up. And it was so cute. It was so,
that
so
is the
cute.
cutest.
It was. And I think since I saw you last that I got this, Lawrence.
I know. I was noticing that. Yes, it looks beautiful. Absolutely amazing.
My daughter and I
I'm
got
having a
matching
little bit
ones.
of tattoo envy, if that's a thing.
It can be a thing. Do you know how long ago I got my first one, Lawrence? With our other best friend Denise? That was 25 years ago.
That is crazy. That
We've
is
been waiting for
absolutely
you to go
crazy.
get your tattoo for 25 years.
Uh, ugh, yeah, I guess.
You briefly were kind of keen to get one, but that passed, I think, a long
Uh,
time ago.
it did sort of. Okay, I've been panicking here in the background because I was not seeing us live on Substack,
I
and so that's
just,
why I've been
yes, no,
slightly distracted. I'm here now that
I know.
I'm confident that we are actually live.
Yes, I am in the chat. In fact, let me do a big hello. It's fucked up
It's
Friday.
fucked up Friday.
Oh my
She's
gosh.
Dana Dubois. I'm Lawrence Winnerman. This is normally, a daily show, but we're doing it weekly for the summer. If somehow you've missed all that news and you're only stumbling upon us today, we are the Daily Whatever Show on a summer break where we are only doing Fridays. And welcome.
Lawrence, when we say break, I think of that old Friends. Do you
Right.
remember
We
the
were on a
racial? We were
break.
on a break. So anything happens, we're going to be able to yell that. We were on a break.
Yeah.
Yes, we have um, lots of plans that we each needed to carry through for the summer. And also, after almost a year and a half of daily programming, we just needed to quiet it down a little bit. And summer seems like the perfect time for that.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, but I will say this week so far, I've slept in a smidge, but I have not been appreciably less busy any of these days.
Mm.
Like I'm still apparently going hours and hours and hours at a time, ending at like 11 p.m. and falling into bed. So, yay
Yeah.
break.
The thing is that, like, what's that expression? Nature does not allow a void. It will
Nature
fill.
abhors a vacuum, yes, and apparently
Nature
so does my
abhors a
schedule.
vacuum. Thank you. Yeah, things don't feel that different yet. Maybe this week was too much change for me to
Yeah.
feel like, oh, things feel different because, as I mentioned, the kids are done with school, house is still trashed. It will all come together, Lawrence. I'm sure we have exciting things to share. This is also, in a weird way, for my personal publication, I Write Out Loud, my memo, Home for Creative Nonfiction. It is my final introductory week, if that makes sense. So there's something else that's concluding in my life and in my home this week. And
Nice.
what that means practically is that introductory pricing is ending. So there's till Sunday to get the $40 annual for life subscription there. So I've been promoting that quite a bit. And I remember last summer, Lawrence, think all the way back to last summer when we did the Daily Whatever show. And we did, yeah, at every decile of new paid subscribers, we did
Oh
something
God, that was
silly.
so cute and
It
fun.
was, we had so much
We
energy
we were
back
so
then.
young and innocent back then.
the ice bucket challenge and when we dressed as each other. And so I put a challenge on mine that I'm going to do another red flag roundup as soon as I hit the next decile. And I have been one away for like 2 days because the numbers keep coming and going, and I can't figure out through Stripe and Substack both why,
Right.
because the data stinks. But I am hoping by this weekend to hit my next decile milestone and do a red flag roundup. I'm very excited about that. Um, and also, I have a story in Open Secrets magazine. Remember when we had
I know,
Rachel on
that's
the show?
amazing. Congratulations.
I'm going to go ahead and put it in here because it's for Father's Day and it's a doozy of a story.
Yes, I've read this story. It is very, very good.
Thank you. And when I heard about the name of the magazine as Open Secrets, I was like, this is one I need to share about my stepfather, the felon, who was also a lovely human in my life for decades. And how does one hold
Those
those
two
two things?
contradictory things, yes.
Happy Father's Day for those of us who don't have the greatest of father figures. Yay! So I just shared the link for that. That's my big excitement. I know you've been writing a ton, Lawrence. What have you got to share before we bring our amazing guests on for Fucked Up Friday?
Yeah, well, I have been writing a ton. For those who have been following along over at Blue Ant Media, I have started a series on AI and the economy. It's getting a lot of really solid response. There's one article that I published that just keeps going, and I'm in awe of
Yes.
it.
Yes, that
Uh,
one has gone. Can we just say it's gone viral, Lawrence?
it's gone quasi-viral, yes. And well, I guess the other thing is kind of a great way of introducing our guests. So today we have Ann Kramer joining us. I'm going to bring Ann on camera. Hello,
Hey,
Ann.
Al. Good morning.
And
Nice to
good
see you.
morning.
I
Ann
can't
and
hear
I
Anne.
are going to do a limited series over July. Details kind of TBD, but we're sort of thinking on Tuesdays. For 4 Tuesdays, Ann and I are going to be talking about um, the economy and what comes next.
Hmm.
How do we build an integrative form of capitalism? And Anne is a therapist and has been thinking about the economy and how whole people can create whole economies for a long time. And I hope I teed you up well. Say hi to the
You
chat and
did.
introduce yourself if you would.
And sorry,
Hello to
before you do that, I have
everyone.
to drop and come back because when Anne joined, I
Oh,
can't hear her.
Okay.
This the whole
okay.
some things don't change, the whole StreamYard problem, but
Right.
I'll miss you guys. Hang on, I'm gonna be right back.
Okay. Well, and
Should I
go ahead
go
and
or wait for
yeah,
her?
go ahead and
Okay.
introduce yourself to the crowd.
So, yeah, my background is in counseling. And while I was trained traditionally in kind of the disease model, I sort of went off sideways early on into a much more whole person model and really working with my clients from the understanding that most of us just really aren't taught how to put together whole lives. And so that's the work I started doing with my clients. It started from my own. I had 16 years of schooling and one day woke up and realized I didn't even know how to feed myself. And like everybody eats food, how is it I've spent so much time in school but don't know how to feed myself? Then from that, I asked the other question, okay, if they didn't teach me how to feed myself and eat and do that in terms of my wholeness, what else didn't they teach me? And so I ended up creating this thing called the life puzzle, which is a very practical, tangible way to know yourself as a physical, emotional, thinking, sexual, and spiritual being. And then how do you put your life together over a lifelong journey? And so from that, and that itself is its own system, right? Because every piece impacts the whole in your personal, right? If I'm eating poorly, then I'm more depressed. If I'm more depressed, my communication is more negative. If my communication is more negative, then my work is not going to be quite as stellar. So that's how I started becoming a systems thinker on the personal level. And then I'm very involved in my communities and I've lived in a lot of different places, really looking at how do all of these pieces fit together in our communities, families, communities, state, and that type of thing. And through a fluke sort of door, I started studying the economy and
Mm.
really looking at the current economy and how it has served its purpose and has hit a wall and needs to transform, and yet it's stuck. And so I started working, and Lawrence and I will work on this over the summer, on what I call an integrative economy and building the most vibrant economy ever imagined. And it's sort of taking the best of capitalism and the best of other kind of systems and merging it into a brand new one, for a win-win for all of us. So that's kind of me.
Yeah, so Ann and I have been having some amazing, amazing conversations. We're
Yeah.
very much in alignment in terms of how we think. And yeah, for 4 weeks in July, we are going to introduce these concepts to folks and try to create a bigger conversation around what can we do? What can each of us do in
Mhm.
our communities to start thinking about how to build a
Right.
more integrative economy? Because, you know, as my articles on Blue Amp have been kind of hinting,
Yeah.
it certainly seems like big bad things are about to happen, and we're all
Yeah.
going to need to figure out how to be more resilient. So,
Yeah. And people are freaked out. They're wondering, how am I going to support myself? Where am I going to live? How am I going to make a living? All of that has to be addressed. And that's in the model that I've created, it will be addressed.
yeah. Yeah, so we're excited for that. I'm glad, Anne, that we get to introduce you to the crowd. And I knew that Anne was going to get along famously here. When the first time we talked, she started swearing like a sailor, and I was like, I love you. Me too. Let's throw F-bombs together.
I know.
So having you here on Fucked Up Friday seems like a perfect introduction, Anne.
Well, yeah, I wish I could get rid of that word, but my husband, though he was in tech, taught me to use that F bomb a lot. Did you
It's
guys
an
ever see the
effective word.
Netflix special on the history of swear words?
No, but now I have
No.
to.
Well, it's the very first word they take on is fuck, right? And Sarah Silverman sort of is overseeing it with Nicolas Cage. It is so hilarious, guys. I
Oh
mean,
my
as she
God.
says, fuck is the best. It does everything. It does angry, it does funny, it does
Hmm.
happy, it does sad, it does it all.
The
Yeah.
So yeah,
sexy,
you
don't
can't get rid of.
forget.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it is a phonemically, it's just a fantastic like
does
that.
it all.
It
And
does.
yet
It
you can draw
feels
it out. Fuck, that's not so good, right?
Right.
It
yes.
does it all.
It
Right.
So
does.
we we can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
But
No.
YouTube, don't block this for us. It's okay. We say fuck all the time on the show, and so far they are still hosting our videos. Just not if we put it in the title, then it
Right.
gets
We can't
upset.
put it in the title, and we have to mark it not
Oh,
kid safe.
that's why it's
But
effed.
then we're good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's
I.
why
You
we
know.
slightly toned it down in the title, but not in the language. Because if we can't call this current timeline fucked up,
Fuck.
what are
What
we
if?
even
Right.
doing
Yeah,
here?
yeah.
What are
Then
we
that
even
word
doing
is
here?
useless. Yeah.
Right. And speaking of, we have changed things up recently, and where we're kind of jumping right into the Fucked Up Friday game pretty quickly because we could easily chat with you forever and forget to
Mhm.
do the Fucked Up Friday
Could do
game.
it.
But we
Well, let's
started
get
doing
into
it
it.
earlier in the show, which I think is working.
I
So,
think it's been working really well. The one story I want to hear from both of you on is um Trump's not showing up. This isn't really a fucked up story in my mind. It's a little fucked up that he wouldn't come for the Obama's opening, that Trump didn't show up for the
Mhm.
Obama's opening this week,
right.
but it had to have made it so much better because I can only
Oh,
imagine how he would have completely tanked it. Can we pause for a moment and be like, it's both fucked up and delightfully not fucked up at
Yeah.
the same time?
you know, the moment I saw the picture of all the presidents and first ladies and Trump and Melania were not there, I was just of course he wouldn't go, and thank God that he
He,
didn't.
they didn't invite
Exactly.
him. They did not
Oh,
invite him.
Really
nice.
He was
good.
not invited because, yeah, he would have tried to take it over or just really made a mess out of it. And
He's
so
been a
they
complete
just,
dick to
yeah,
them. You don't invite dicks to your
Right.
assholes.
party.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
yeah, like um so I can't quite decide if it falls under fucked up for the lack of propriety, the lack of him being
Right.
able to. I mean, that is like one of the saddest parts of having to live in this timeline is realizing that our we are all witnessing and our kids are all growing up seeing a president with no
Yeah.
sense of propriety or decorum. But
Right.
he's already done that 10,000 times worse. Not showing up for this event was like
Right. And
nothing.
I gotta say, I mean, I wept as I was listening to both of their speeches, but Michelle
Yeah.
Obama's speech, where she was shading Trump so hard by complimenting her husband, was
On his Peace
absolutely magnificent.
Prize.
I
Yeah,
know the Peace Prize really got it. That got a full clap from everybody in the audience.
Yeah,
it was mas-
Perfect.
masterful,
yes.
masterful shade.
Yep.
It was nice to have it. We rarely pause to just be like, good news. But
Yeah.
it did feel like going back in time a little, didn't it?
Right. It was very disconcerting for me, honestly, to be like, right, we had this, and somehow we've backslid,
Yeah.
and
And
why,
how?
and how do we get back? Because it seems like we were living in a little bit of a fantasy bubble there during the Obama years.
I'd like to think we were in reality
Yeah.
then and we've slid into a dystopian bubble.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't
we
know.
have, but it was well thought out and planned. If you know anything about Christian nationalism, this has been planned now for at least 40 or 50 years.
Yep.
And they have slowly, methodically worked themselves into the system to take it over. And it's going to fall in on themselves because people ultimately don't like to live in hatred and fear for very long. We'll do it for a while, but we won't stay in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that? Your words, God's ears.
Yeah. From your
This,
from your mouth to God's ears. Yes.
yeah, this agnostic is going to say that. I have one small request, Anna, and I'm not sure if you can do this. Are you able to come a little closer to your
Oh,
camera?
sure.
You feel very,
That better?
here she comes.
That better?
That
Better?
is that
That
is
enough?
better. If you could come even a little bit closer, it would be good. But you just feel, oh, there you are. That's so much better.
Okay. No problem.
All right. Are we ready to jump in with our stories?
Yeah. And so the way this works is we each came in with a story,
Yep.
and your job is to sell your story to the audience. You are trying to convince them that yours is the most fucked up news story of the week. And we used to let our guest go first, and then we realized there might be recency bias, and so then we let them go last. But now we just let you pick. So you get to choose first, second, or third.
All right. I'll go second. That way
Excellent.
I'm
Okay.
happy in the middle.
Ooh, I like that. Like an and sandwich, sort of like how we're positioned here on the screen.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Lawrence, do you want to go first or do you want to go last?
I would like to go last.
Okay, I will go first. Hang on. I've got a link here to share. And I don't usually, you all know I go for the kind of feminist killjoy, things are very hard for women or abortion kind of stories. But, and I tend to dig out some niche ones. Today, I'm going for a very high level story that's been all over the news, but I cannot stop thinking about it because it is such a perfect metaphor. I'm talking about the paint peeling off the bottom
Yes.
and the algae blooming in the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool. There are so many stories about this. I'm sharing one to Forbes because it has lots of photos. And because I love to storytell, a slight story. 4 years ago, just about right now, my stepmom died, and I had to fly back to Florida on a day's notice because she was living with my dad and her 90-something-year-old mother in their house that was in a big state of disrepair. And we knew one of those legs would give way. My dad at the time was physically pretty okay, but cognitively not. He lives in memory care now. This is the trip where I came and put him into memory care. We also had to, and my brother was in Europe, so it was all on me. They had a pool in their backyard. And most pools in South Florida are screened in, but theirs was not. It was just out in the open. And they'd been in that house since 1989, and they'd both been ill for a while. So lots of things were in disrepair. But I was the one in charge of like figuring everything out so we could get it on the market, clearing things out. And about halfway through this 2-week trip, I went to the house, and suddenly the like bright blue, normal light blue chlorine pool was bright algae green. And I was like, what the happened? And managed to find the name of the pool person that they had been using. called them and they were like, oh yeah, she stopped. Like we had told her that this needed really, really deeper work, that they were like, I don't remember all the details, but she didn't want to do that. So we were just kind of cleaning it every week or however often. And when she died, the person in charge, yeah, I guess she was odd about especially money and very cheap. So I think she never put it on an automated payment. And so all it took was 1 week of her going down and the pool went back to nature. And
Wow.
it was like an emergency because it was going to be bringing in, it was already starting to attract bugs because there was no screen and it was going to get like, there were going to be alligators and water moccasins living in that thing if I did. And we had to get it on the market. And so we had to make the decision to like, let's just keep it short-term clean and let the next, like it was going to be way too much work. All of this is to say, if you don't have the people who believe in science and who are willing to fix the system, the minute something goes down, nature's going to take back over. If you don't have science there in the middle to protect you from nature, and a body of stagnant water is going to get gross.
Yes.
It's going to get gross. And if you repaint it and you're not really, you give no bid contracts to the people who took over and did the $14 million
Can't
American
we get our
flag
money back
blue.
at least?
So can we get our money back, right?
Right.
If you don't, I have no idea who they hired and how reputable they were. I would bet that they maybe came back and said, oh, there's some really big systemic problems here in this gigantic pool. And Trump's people don't believe in science. They don't believe in paying their vendors, but I would bet that they were like, now we're cool, just paint it blue, it'll be fine.
Right. My
But
favorite part of this is, of course, it's a scandal. It was a no bid contract issued to the vendor through a Trump campaign donor. So, I'm not even convinced, Dana, that they came back and said, hey, this doesn't look good. I think they probably were just like, yeah, you want it painted blue? We're going to paint it blue as cheap as
American flag
possible.
blue,
$14
it's
million.
very patriotic.
Right.
And so and I'm cracking up at our complicit media just standing there like people are enjoying the pond. Like, or the pond, I'm calling it a
reflecting
pond
pool.
Reflecting
because it
pool.
looks like a
Yeah.
pond now. It is
It does.
returning to nature. Like our only defense against nature, whether that be from diseases, from the impacts of climate change, all the things, the only front line of defense that we have is science. And
Yep.
we have an administration that simply doesn't believe in science. Did you see them pouring the little like grocery store sizes of hydrogen peroxide?
Yeah,
Like
it was
like that's
hilarious.
gonna help. Have you seen the size of that thing? They
I
might as well have
Well,
peed in
I
it,
thought
tried
I
to fix
saw
it.
where they said they would need 8,000 bottles
Right.
of hydrogen
Yeah.
peroxide to make this work.
What that tells me is that the
It's
people in charge
insane.
have no idea what's going on,
Idea
and
what
they're
they're
like,
doing.
get the interns, like, fuck you guys, here's $500, go to the
Right. Ask
CVS,
ChatGPT what to do.
right? And they were like, hydrogen peroxide will fix it. Hey, my mom's got some of that. We grab it from our basement. We store some of that, or they ran to the drugstore and they were like, dee, 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 pouring these like tiny little bits in there. And also, from what I read, hydrogen peroxide will erode paint.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And also a thing that I didn't know about the reflecting pool
Yeah.
until this debacle, it's just river water, right? Like it's water from the Potomac that is pumped
I didn't
into
know.
the reflecting pool.
I didn't know that either.
And so it's not like you're starting with clean water to begin with. Like the level of not thinking about the systems is just kind of mind-boggling. I posted a little joke thing to notes where I was like, I've seen enough of the Flex Seal ads that I kind of can't believe we didn't paint that thing with Flex Seal.
I saw that. Right? I couldn't even take a guess at how many swimming pools we have in this country. This is not unknown science. We're not trying to solve to stop a brand new pandemic, let's say, solve against an unknown virus.
Right.
It's simply a man-made body of water that's pumping in natural water. But like these are known things. But like, what a beautiful like we literally moved the swamp in. He said he was going to get rid of the swamp all those years ago. He moved the swamp in because this is not an administration of serious people. And we're laughing about it because the consequences aren't dire. Although if they leave that sludge around, things are going to get gross and nobody's going to want to be around it. I would think
Well, and
like it's
think
going to
that
attract bugs
July
and
4th,
vermin.
right? But July 4th is right around the corner.
Oh
A
yeah.
huge time when people, I used to live in Richmond, I mean, people just flock into DC over
Yeah.
that holiday. And they're not going to have that cleaned up in time.
Oh God, no. No.
So everyone's going to see that,
Yeah.
both
Apparently, the
MAGA
whole
and
reason it
not
was
MAGA.
such a rush job was because they were trying to get it ready for July. The
Yeah.
250th cage match
Yeah.
thing, or that we
Hmm.
did, and July
Yeah.
4th, and yeah, so they rushed it and they fucked it up, and now July 4th is going to be
Imminent.
a swamp
Yeah.
pool.
I back me up here, Chet. I am no scientist, but like what diseases live in stagnant, boggy water? I don't even know. But I mean, like it will attract bugs and vermin. It will be gross.
For sure,
Hmm.
And
but
and I
it's going to be
just
a like
yeah,
West Nile virus,
I'm like
outbreak waiting
cholera.
to
I saw
happen.
cholera's making a comeback.
Right.
I don't know if that sits in stagnant water. I don't want to. I am not a scientist, but I believe deeply in following scientists' leads. And this is
Most
funny
likely,
because, oh, sorry.
I was going to say that thing's going to have to get drained again,
Yeah.
drained and repainted white,
Oh,
or that light
absolutely.
color, because it will always. I have Florida background in pools too,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
you
really?
just once it takes over, you're screwed. You have to really really go crazy to get rid of it because it
Right. Yeah, you
just,
gotta like
yeah. And
strip
this
it
thing
and
is
scrub it and
gigantic.
bleach it and then repaint it
Yeah.
for sure. And
Hmm.
yeah, it's gonna be one of those like, cool, you fixed a problem for $14 million and now it's gonna cost us like
Yeah.
100 million to actually take care of it.
Yeah, I have no idea how much it would cost to fix something like that. But yeah, that'll come out of our pockets too. And this is funny
Hmm.
because we can laugh at it, but it's not funny that we're being governed by fucking morons.
That's such stupidity.
Like the incompetence in such a simple task that didn't need to be done.
Yep.
It
Hmm.
was a vanity task at the start. No one asked to have that pool painted American flag blue. And now here we are. It's a mess. What's
It's a
today's date now?
mess.
The 20th? We're right around, no,
The
19th.
19th.
It's
19th
the,
to
so
19th.
yeah, we do not have much time before July 4th, you guys. Two weeks in a day. Good luck. I'm glad it's not my job to fix it, but that's my fucked up Friday story. I know I didn't pull out a niche one, but I had to talk about it because it's been
Yeah, a
making me
mess.
laugh all week, and the photos of all of the blue paint floating in it in the it's quite funny, and also it's just such a metaphor for the state of our country, and it has me really worried about the other things we are just not hearing about and not taking care of. But yes, drain the
Mhm.
swamp. They're going to be draining the swamp,
Right. And we've got folks
literally.
in the chat reminding us that it is Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth to
Yep.
everybody. A
Oh, it
very
is
important day
Juneteenth.
that I can't speak for everyone else, but as a Gen X person, I did not learn about Juneteenth in school. I didn't know about the importance of
Mhm.
Juneteenth until I was well into my 30s. So,
Same,
um,
and we should have led with
Yeah.
that.
yeah,
My apologies. Here's the sad thing, like I am leaving and going to work from here because I where I work does not,
I'll
celebrate
give you the
Juneteenth.
day off. Yeah.
and we should. And so I forgot with all the chaos of graduation and all of that. But yes, it is Juneteenth, and that should be a national holiday at the level of Memorial Day and Labor Day and the things where all the banks close and businesses close, and we all
Mhm.
get
Yeah.
to acknowledge it.
I've heard a
So
number of stories about places where, the county administrator or whoever is like, well, you can't have Juneteenth off unless you give up another day because we've only got a certain limited number of holidays. You have to give up Christmas or New Year's if you want Juneteenth.
right.
Fuck you. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like many, many years ago, when my kids were very small, we briefly had an au pair, couple of au pairs who were lovely, and they were so confused when I'd be like, "Oh, it's a holiday. Like the banks are closed, things are closed," but I would have to go to work, and they were like, "Why are you going to work if it's a holiday?" And they were we had three: Spain, Mexico, and Colombia. So they were all from Spanish speaking countries and they had a lot of holidays, but they were like,
Mhm.
we don't understand a holiday is a holiday. I'm like, not here. They're
Right.
tiered. There's like the holidays that are like July
Yeah, they
4th,
are too.
everything shuts. And then there are the holidays that are, I like to call them pain in the ass for parents holidays. The daycare is
Oh.
closed and the bank's closed, but you still have to go to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lynette is
Well,
saying in the chat that she's 57 and she learned about Juneteenth. Lynette, I suspect it's where you grew up. Like if you were in or near Texas, I think maybe you learned about it. We
Yeah.
were in
In
Florida,
Florida.
and it
no
was
way.
absolutely not a thing that got talked about
Yep.
when we were in school.
Yeah. Lawrence,
And if
I feel
Ron
kind of,
DeSantis had his way, he still would not talk about it.
I'm
I was
sure.
just going to say that. I bet they don't.
Hmm.
I
No,
bet they do
no.
not learn about this in school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess it is a national holiday, but it's one of those squishy national holidays like, I don't know, Flag Day or something, right? Where it kind of depends on how mean your boss is as to whether or not you have to work it.
Yes, that's
Well, I
true.
hope everybody else can celebrate it.
Yes, yes. I hope you're
Absolutely.
celebrating. If I wasn't doing the keto diet, I would be making some red velvet cake right now to celebrate,
Uh,
um, because that is the traditional Juneteenth dessert.
Mhm.
I do love me some
Absolutely.
red velvet cake.
Yeah,
And I bet
but
yours is fabulous. I do miss your cooking, Lawrence.
yeah. Well, Anne,
Well, we'll get
you
them
are
back on the
up.
West Coast. Okay,
Y-
Right?
I'm up and I'm going to bring us back to the West Coast. So, my story is about Battleground, Washington,
hmm,
which is in just like Vancouver, Washington. So, if you know the Portland area, then Columbia River comes down, and on the north side is Washington State. And Vancouver is a town that most people think about, but there's a small town called Battleground, has
right.
about 23,000 people in it, and it is being taken over by white Christian nationalists. Literally taken over. There's a billionaire who works or owns a company that has, for about 10 years, been slowly, methodically working to take over this town and turn it into a white Christian nationalist town. He has started buying up properties, like he currently owns about 30 properties, and he's influenced and brought in the mayor in a way that that mayor is serving him. And then they also brought in an extreme evangelical white Christian nationalist Presbyterian. And
Right.
together, their focus is to take over that town and make it so that if you live in that town, you have to obey their laws and
Oh,
participate in white Christian nationalism. And by
wow.
itself, it's a small situation. Although I was laughing with Andrew Watkins wrote about this, if you're familiar with her work
Oh,
about
yeah,
white
she's been
Christian
on the show. We
nationalism.
love her.
And I was saying to her yesterday, this is the second time in Oregon area, in that area where a religion has tried to take over a town. The Dalles, which is east of Hood River and east of Portland, at one point had that happen. But more, I'm really talking about white Christian nationalism. And as I mentioned earlier, if you really study white Christian nationalism, you will see that this is not a phenomenon that just started a few years ago with Project 2025 and Russell Vogt and that. This is really 100, but intensively 40 years of slow and methodical taking over this country at the
Yeah.
federal level. And now their focus is they're feeling like they've got their foot in the door, is to take over small towns. This is happening over in Tennessee as well. And, once Christian nationalism takes over, women's rights go out the door, voting, all of this stuff is going to get worse and worse and worse. So to me, it's very scary. Now, the perhaps good news is why he picked Battleground Washington or the Portland, Vancouver area.
Right?
As you know, Dana, this is not exactly Silenceville,
No,
right?
this is not exactly a haven for white nationalism. I'm
I
looking at the
know.
map now. I'm like backing out to see Where? Oh, it is close to Portland.
It is really
Yeah.
close to Portland.
Yes. I mean,
Hey, make
it's
Battleground weird
25,
again, Portland.
30 minutes. Yeah. You can
The
easily get
crazy
there.
thing is, and I don't mean to interrupt your flow.
No, go
I
ahead.
know this gay couple that has a large compound in Battleground,
Do you?
Oh
and
my
they're
gosh.
kind of notorious for throwing big gay parties. And I'm really thinking they're regretting their choice of location right now.
Well,
Oh,
yeah, they did have a big public meeting, and the mayor was there. And mayor basically said, if you don't like it, get out because I'm in charge now, sort of
Hmm.
like our Mr. Trump.
Yeah.
But the resistance, I mean, 43 people spoke of that. Most of them spoke against what was happening in Battleground. So yeah, I don't know why they would pick that because Portlanders, Vancouverans, they're going to fight this tooth and nail once it's really becomes a little bit more vocal. But to me, it's just so
yeah.
fucked up that even if that corner, but that this is spreading across the country, especially in the South. Florida has really been taken over by it as well.
Yeah.
And I don't think the average person really understands in this country how scary Christian nationalism is and how much money there is behind it. And if you're familiar with Leonard Leo, he's part of Opus Dei, and Opus Dei is the Catholic form
Oof.
Hmm.
Yeah.
and he has been instrumental in ensuring that 6 of the Supreme Court justices are now white Christian nationalists.
Right.
Uh,
Catholic,
So,
white
you know,
Christian nationalist Catholic. Yeah.
yeah, Catholic. And we could spend just a half hour right there. But my story for today is it's so fucked up that white Christian nationalism is taking over battleground Washington. And I hope it turns out to be their biggest mistake ever, that the community just points it out that this is not going to stay fucked up anymore. You got to go.
Right. I mean, this is the one thing that's giving me some comfort about this is they may be following their mayor, who's white Christian nationalist, but they're still part of Washington State. And we've got Bob Ferguson as our
Right.
governor. And he is, I have I say this a lot. I have a story half written about Washington being this kind of other universe where, I follow him on Facebook and I'll click in and he's doing a press conference. Last week we got women now get like, I'm trying to think of how he worded it, for menopausal and perimenopausal women, there are now workplace protections for us as we go through
Good.
menopause, baked into Washington state law. And of course, all these trolls are like, "Ooh, do trans people get it too?" And people are like, "Yeah, if they need it, if they're
Yeah.
having menopausal symptoms from their hormones, sure." But and there, it's codified. I believe LGBTQ rights are codified, abortion rights. Like
Mhm.
Washington is like a last holdout. Where when I hear our statewide news, it feels sort of like what we talked about at the beginning of watching the Obamas, right? We're so protected, and he's a very, I think, a very popular governor. Like or at least like Seattle is so populous that we take over any of the battleground parts of the state, and we have always had a Democratic liberal governor since I've been here, my 30 years in Seattle.
Yeah.
So
And Bob
Yeah.
Ferguson
Same.
is great.
he is amazing. He was attorney general under Trump v1, and he took on the Trump administration so many times, and he won. I think like 75 cases or something. Like again, Washington's not California; it's not New York, so it doesn't make the news the same way. But like Bob Ferguson is a hero, and so those
Mhm.
folks in battleground are ultimately beholden to him.
Yes.
Of course, he's
And
ultimately, I guess, beholden to Trump. So,
and being right across the street almost to Oregon,
Yeah.
right.
and the resistance there and the frogs and all that kind of stuff, it's going to be quite the scene. As you were talking, Dana, I was going to
Yeah.
ask you, did you ever read Starhawk's book, The Fifth Sacred Thing?
No.
So it's a really interesting story. It's back from the 90s, whatever, but it's Washington, Oregon, and California separate from the United States. And
Yes.
it's just a really interesting story that you would, I think, all readers would find really fascinating because
Lawrence, have
we're
you
there.
ever?
We're there now. We're
Yeah.
almost there now, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you and I haven't, I don't know that we've talked science fiction and specifically the novel that
Not
I'm
yet.
writing right now, which is about
Yeah.
the West Coast countries that secede from the United States.
I think you're actually wearing the shirt from it right now,
I'm
Lawrence, aren't
literally
you?
wearing my designed Seattle flag when Seattle is the capital of the Free Republic of Cascadia.
Oh, good.
So you
Well,
were like right in our wheelhouse here.
Yeah,
what
so
brought
this
me
is,
out to California from Virginia this last year was when the Canadian not, I don't know if she was a mayor or whatever, and she was talking when Trump was talking about making um, Canada the 51st state. She came out and said, no, 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 we're going to make the next portion of Canada, California, Oregon, and Washington. And I
Washington,
said
yeah.
to my brother who lives in California, "Oh my God, I got to get out there so I can join Canada." And he's like, "Come on out." And here I am.
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
it.
Crazy times.
I just opened a browser to search as we were talking about this whole Cascadia thing, because anecdotally here in Seattle, going to all these high school graduations, so many of our bright minds are going to Canada for college. And I was just
Mhm.
Googling to see if it's going up. And I see a CNN article from 2025 saying Canadian universities report jump in US applicants. I don't know if it's true, but anecdotally, like UVic and UBC and University of Toronto, like you're
Yeah.
getting some really bright minds coming over the border.
Yeah.
And of course, it's totally understandable. But when I opened, I know you need to go, Lawrence, to do your story, but this is my top story on Firefox. South Dakota man whose life sentence was commuted by Kristi Noem, now implicated in his niece's death.
Oh my God.
I haven't dug in yet, but I just have to say that out loud and give one a like, why are we letting all the wrong people off the hook? And why are they all turning around and sexually assaulting or murdering kids?
Yeah.
I don't know, but
That's a
what I will
rhetorical
say,
question. Sorry.
it
Sorry.
is
Go ahead.
rhetorical, but the more and more this happens, the more visual it becomes. And this is, I think, going back to my story on white Christian nationalism. When they stayed in the shadows, they could do some stuff and get away with it. They have come out of the shadows now, and that's going to prove to be their failing because it's so ugly what they do that more and more people are waking up to see that, like what you're saying, like, what? How can this be happening? The Family was written by Jess Charlotte in like 1992 or 5 or something like that. And people
Hmm.
didn't believe that this was going to happen. Here we are in 2026. It has come out of the woodwork. It is
Yeah.
everywhere. And that's going to kill them in the long run because it
Yeah.
sucks. It's
Yeah.
fucked. There's no
Yeah.
doubt about it. All right, your
I hope
turn.
you're right. And you're giving me so much hope today that you're like,
Oh, I'm
things
the
are gonna
world's
turn.
optimist. Ultimate optimist.
I
Things come around.
All right, so I'm going to do mine, but before I do, since we're having a moment of optimism and we just talked about Vancouver, BC, there's an awesome
Oh,
story.
so
I'm going to put
pretty.
a link in the chat. So the Squamish tribe was recently granted complete control over 10 acres in downtown Vancouver,
Ooh.
and they could do literally whatever they wanted. No provincial rules applied, right? Like they literally had complete control. So they are building a massive, dense, beautifully designed housing complex, like thousands
Mm,
of units of market rate housing, as well as low income housing, guaranteed rates, locked rent.
wow.
The development is beautiful. I'm putting the chat in. The development's name is Sinaqua. And I'm not even sure I'm saying that right. There's like an N glottal stop in there and a like at the
Glottal
end.
stop, Lawrence. Oof. My former
Yeah,
speech pathologist's heart.
I know, right? um, and it is beautifully, beautifully designed. And the New York Times has this article about it, about how it's like, hey, look, when we're actually not being all NIMBY and not, not in my backyard, no big towers, blah, blah, blah. This is what you can do. And they, rather than building like 6 mansions, which is what it was zoned for, they built this massive housing complex that is beautifully, beautifully
Oh
designed
my
and
God.
environmentally correct. And
Oh my
yeah,
God, it's gorgeous.
right. It's
Mhm.
really nice.
I saw
So
this headline, Lawrence, and I hadn't had a chance to read it yet with all the craziness this week. Thank you for sharing this because I saw that intriguing, like they might have solved the housing crisis. And I was like, oh, what's that going to be? How lovely. They have such a housing
Yeah.
problem in Vancouver.
Yeah, no, it's a
Hmm.
huge
Yeah.
problem in Vancouver. Jessica B, who is Canadian, is correcting me that it's Squamish. I'm sorry. I between Squim and I don't know why I always say it's Squamish, but it's Squamish. Thank you for the correction, Jessica B. But the complex itself, I think, is Snaqua. There's like this weird
Neat.
half aspirated W at the end that I just absolutely love.
Can
Well,
you
and it
say that
does
one more
show
time?
that it does say show though that community can find solutions, and that's what
Right.
you and I will be talking about a whole lot more
Exactly.
this summer.
Yes, I
Love
absolutely
it.
thought of you, Anne, as I was reading it, that it's like, oh, hey,
Hmm.
look,
Yep.
smart people, given local control, can come up with solutions that actually work for the neighborhood that they're in. Like literally the 10-acre, neighborhood that
Yeah.
they are in.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's fantastic.
Um,
Good.
all right, so here's my fucked up Friday story. Um, oh my gosh, where am I? Ah.
Lawrence.
uh,
Lost his.
okay, here we go. The New World screwworm. I'm sure you've heard about this at this point. The New World screwworm is a parasite, it's a fly, whose larvae feed upon the living tissue of warm blooded animals, cattle, or pets, or people. We in the United States eradicated it 60 years ago, and we kept it out because we had a federal program that breeds sterile flies and releases them, which collapses the wild population of flies, that actually then lay their eggs into
Yes.
warm living flesh. And that program kept the fly south of Panama for decades. So it not only kept the United States safe, it actually was so effective that it kept the fly
Excellent.
population collapsed south of Panama. Well, guess what? In March of 2025, the Trump administration and Elon Musk and Doge cut the program. It cost $15 million a year to run this program.
Oh, that's a remarkably similar number
To
to what
Isn't
was
it?
it,
a
Lawrence?
pool.
Reflecting.
Yeah,
Yes.
yep. And
Okay.
it also froze a sterile fly production facility in Mexico that the Biden administration had funded in 2024 as a part of a $165 million emergency package where, like we were helping our neighbors, right? And over the same period, the agency that manages the entire response, which the name of the agency is APHIS, APHIS, lost 2,000 employees thanks to Doge.
Mm.
So, predictably, because nature, as Dana noted in her story, nature does what nature does. The screwworm has been moving north since 2022, and in November of 2024, it got into Mexico, and on June 3rd of this year, the USDA confirmed that the first cases of screw fly had occurred in Texas. It
Screw
is now
fly or screw
rampant in
worm?
Texas and New Mexico. Governor Abbott has issued a disaster proclamation, and the FDA has authorized an emergency drug to treat infested pets and cattle. The administration is now requesting $1 billion to
Oh my
fight the
God.
outbreak for the $15 million program that they cut.
Eliminated.
So, if you have noticed that your beef is getting ever more expensive, it isn't just because of the Iran war and the fertilizer issue, it is also because screwworm is eating the cows alive.
Hmm.
And hopefully for you, their eggs and their parts are not ground up in your ground beef right now. And that is my fucked up Friday story. You're welcome.
It makes me feel ever better that I don't eat beef.
Oh my
It has
God.
made me consider my choices around eating beef for sure.
I Lawrence hold on one second. Kira, there's nobody there. There was a noise outside. She's like, alert, alert. You don't understand, we're under attack. Um, this story, Lawrence, is exactly what I was alluding to with the reflecting pool one of like nature will win. The only defense we have is science, and we have clowns running the show, and more
Yep.
catastrophic things are
Mhm.
going to happen. Normally, things called screwworm. I think Lawrence might be into this, but you are definitely not going to be into this kind of screwworm.
Yeah, no,
Um,
no, no.
No.
yeah. That's such a gross name, and I'm getting like the heebie-jeebies all over. Can it be transmitted to humans? We are warm-blooded mammals.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, there's literally nothing that would prevent it. So what it does
Ugh.
is, if you have a wound that is, open and exposed, the fly comes and lays its eggs in the wound,
Mm-hmm.
and then the larvae hatch and they eat the flesh of the animal that they are on. That animal could be a dog or a cow or a person.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yes.
I'm just blinking at you. Blink,
The
blink,
only
blink,
good
blink.
news is at
Ugh.
least humans would see it and know what's going on. The poor cow
Right.
or
Right.
dog
Imagine.
doesn't
Right.
know what's going on, and it takes off on them and kills them. We'll
Yep.
stop it within ourselves, but still, it's so unnecessary how we've changed our world for the worse. And that's what's so
Ugh.
fucked up about that,
A
Yep.
right? There was
15,
no
oh,
reason.
a
Yeah.
$15 million program.
A $15
Mhm.
million
Which was
program
It's
that
like
was
which is
cut
pennies.
chump
in the
change.
chump change, cut in the name of saving money under Doge, and
Mhm.
now is going to require a $1 billion solution. Yep.
We
I
Welcome
need
want
to
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 the
make
read.
Trump
some
era.
we need to make some sort of campaign that ties this to Elon Musk, how he screwed us with the screw worm and he's screwed up too. You know what I mean?
Right.
Something, I don't
Right.
know.
And
The
he's
way
worth $1.1 trillion, right? Like,
He should pay for the screw
he
worm
could
fix.
sneeze,
right.
literally $15 million. I love this very simple sentence from Courtney. Elon is seriously an economic terrorist.
He
Mhm.
is. Yeah.
We
He's
should
an
lift
economic.
that, like Democrats, Democratic strategists. Like, this is economic terrorism. And the fact that no one in the, first of all, that like, we're not used to taking in stories where you have to put together a few pieces to get to the end story,
Mhm.
but that's such an easy dot to connect. We killed a $15 million program. We now need $1 billion to fix it. And also your pets, your food supply, and maybe you
Right. Could
may
be
get in
eaten alive by a worm, by
Yeah.
the larva
screw
of a fly.
Mhm.
that we had eradicated for 60 years. Is that what you
Yeah.
said?
Yep. Yep.
Ugh,
Yep.
that disgusts me and makes me so
Mhm.
angry. And I keep thinking in the back of my head through all of these stories we've been sharing, all of these weeks of like the the agnostic Jew here is going to go biblical and be like, we are our brother's keepers. We cannot, this like rugged individualism, the government shouldn't do anything. Hello, Kitty. And who is this
I
gorgeous
know. I've
creature?
got a kitty too. Yay,
This is for
kitty.
Net, and he's a big kitty.
Burnett.
So,
Oh, he's
yeah, for
beautiful.
Net. Yes.
That like, but we are all each other's keepers. We have to be.
Hmm.
And this rugged individualism thing is failing us deeply. Government matters, you guys.
Yep.
Government is supposed to spend money and hire scientists and strategists and
Yes.
economists because we individually can't just each do our thing, manifest destiny.
Right. Can
We
I?
cannot
I,
fight
But
screwworms.
I want to highlight this comment
Yeah.
from Jessica Morgan on YouTube. I read this and I almost picked this one for today. Surprise,
Okay.
surprise, there's a massive flu epidemic running rampant
Yes.
in the military because Pete Hegseth decided that vaccines were no longer mandatory,
hmm
and so consequences, right? Like,
yeah.
come on, people. How many times
Yeah.
do we need
But
the story proven?
I don't think people realize the Christian nationalists really would like all the rest of us to die.
Yep,
And that they really do. They believe they're God's chosen. And if you're God's chosen, great, you get to live. The three of us, we're not Christian nationalists. We're not God's chosen. If we would die, they'd be happier. And
True,
so
but don't they
that's
want the,
why,
oh, sorry, I
go
keep
ahead.
cutting you off. Don't they want the military to live? Aren't they like one of them?
Uh,
not everybody in the
Not
military,
everybody, just the white Christian nationalists in the
right?
military.
Just the
I
white
could tell a
ones.
story about that, and some folks I know within there that I never would have guessed would have been supportive of Trump. And I can't wait to write them now and go, hey, what a clusterfuck. What do you think now? But it's a mess out there, Christian nationalists. I mean, Russell Vogt runs the OMB, Office of Management and Budget, and he is hell bent and determined to get rid of every single program possible. And if it kills everybody else, that's fine. There'll be just enough Christian nationalists waiting for Jesus to come back and take care of them.
Yeah, which of course is tied to Iran and Israel and all of the rest, right?
I
Because these white
know.
Christian
Armageddon
nationalists are
is
also the
necessary.
insane people who think that the
Yeah,
Messiah is coming back as soon as Israel, Greater Israel, knocks down the mosque currently on Temple Mount and rebuilds the temple.
Yep. 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 I've got
Yeah.
a
deep.
cat here that just will not quit.
Oh, that's okay. We love that. That's very on brand for us. I'm
It
surprised it's not
is.
one of
Good.
mine.
It
Oh my God.
is.
Rachel, this woman votes says, bring on Uzi Jesus, which is a lovely, I don't know if you're doing this on purpose, Rachel, a lovely dungeon crawler Carl reference. Uzi Jesus.
That's fun to say, Uzi Jesus.
Yeah,
Um, we should vote. So for folks who are
it's time
new,
for voting.
we have each pitched what we think is the most fucked up story of the week, and we now need you all to vote for the person who gets to wear the virtual crown for Fucked Up Friday. If you want to pick my story about the reflecting pool being paint chip filled and green because they don't believe in science at the White House and they hired a no bid contractor, right, Dana? Anne,
And
would you like to repitch
summarize
yours?
yours.
If you want to vote for Christian nationalism taking over battleground Washington and the slow but steady movement by Christian nationalism to take over this country, really, this is just one example of it. Vote for me, Anne.
And if you want to vote for me, Lawrence, and the screwworm epidemic that is now chugging through cattle in Texas and possibly your pets and possibly you, because we saved $15 million and it's now going to cost us $1 billion to fix it, put Lawrence in the chat.
Oh, Lynette votes for the kitty. So Fernette got a vote. I
Well,
love that. And
Fernette
I
just
love Courtney Mac's response. You want me to pick one with five incredulous exclamation or question marks after it?
Yeah.
But
I,
Lawrence, because I think it will spread far before this administration even touches it. They wouldn't know how to
Mhm.
touch it. They fired all the scientists.
right. Yeah, they fired the
Yeah.
scientists. Sherry R
Yeah,
says, I do like saying screwworm.
right.
Yeah, and I'm
Except it,
voting for you because I think yours is nefarious and you know, like a screwworm, we can spend $1 billion and we can stand that program back up. But for me, I'm thinking about what do we do about these people, these
I
citizens of
know.
the United States who do not believe in the United States.
yeah.
So I'm voting for Anne.
Yeah, I don't vote for me because my story was bringing up a bigger concern, and your story is that concern, Lawrence. So yours is more fucked up.
Right,
I
yours
think
was
ours
like,
are
what about
tied.
the unintended consequences we don't know? And mine was like, here's one
Here's
that we do know.
here's
Yeah.
here is a really it's called screwworm. I mean that the all right, Democratic strategists, you have a word like screwworm
Right.
that is just gives everybody the ick as soon as they hear it. Like go take it and
heebie-jeebies.
like
Yep.
Oh yeah, and I
go
mean,
with it.
if you see a picture of them, I mean, they're like
Like
these fat little white worms that have these
like
two
maggots.
black fangs right here. Like it
Yeah.
is literally the creepiest looking
Gross.
thing you have ever seen, and they're called screwworms because they tunnel through your living flesh in a
Mhm.
screw-like pattern.
Yep.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop talking. um, that oh my god, screw worms look like Elon in a swimsuit. Courtney, you win the internet
Nice.
today again. I think that's the second time I've read you out loud today. That was brilliant. Lawrence, I think you've got it today though. I think you won.
All
Okay,
right.
good.
All right.
Yeah, beautifully done. But Anne, close second.
Yes, and
Okay,
thank you for
that's
showing
fine.
up and representing with an excellent, excellent story. This is the joy of Fucked Up Friday. Even the winner loses because really, all of these stories are just proving that we are living in fucked up times.
Yeah,
Fucked up
no,
times.
but
Yep.
nobody wins at this
Mm-mm.
game.
Yeah.
Um, we also have one question that we always ask our guests on their
Oh,
first visit. It lightens the mood and
good.
it's loads of fun. Lawrence, would you like to do the honor of the
Yes.
question this episode?
So Ann, Dana, and I are Gen X, and we are obsessed with Gen X music. And so the question is,
Mm.
what is the most Gen X song of all time?
Oh my God, I have no idea. Because I'm not Gen X. I'm actually a boomer. I'm 70.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
We
I
need to
know.
talk skincare, Anne.
Yeah, honestly, and we need to like skin and hair care. Like, come on.
Well, you know how I talk about wholeness? It
Yeah.
pays off. It
Yeah.
pays off. I started this in my 20s. And so it's a lifestyle that really is prevention oriented. But I'm blank as to a Gen X song that would be the Gen X song of all time. Dana, do you have an answer for me?
I would, well, I would first give a little nudge of like, think about the kids who grew up in the 80s or came of age in the 80s and early 90s.
Right.
What would
Was
they have
there
been
any
listening
80s
to?
music that caught your attention?
God.
Oh my
I,
God, Docent Cat said 80s by Killing Joke. No one has ever said that. And I love that song. You know, Nirvana stole it for Come As You Are. It's the exact same riff.
really? And
Yes,
see, I'm so bad on titles of songs that I, c- I'm blank. I'm blank. You have to
completely
answer it
fine.
for me.
I actually love this one from Colleen Mack. We're Not Gonna Take It by Twisted Sister. I think that could be your de
That's a
facto
great one.
That is a
Hmm.
vote.
good one.
And
Okay.
General Public Tenderness, also a good pick. Our chat is coming through. One song that I always come
Good.
back to when people ask me, I have like, I could write a dissertation on this topic.
I can vouch. She
Lawrence
could.
can attest. I always go to Soft Cell's Tainted Love. I feel like that is just such a
Oh
Gen X
yeah.
song. Sometimes I feel I've got to.
Yep,
Um,
I know that song. I
yeah,
know the songs, I just don't remember the titles. You should have
Yeah.
given me the questions so I could have done some research ahead of time,
I'm sorry.
Lawrence.
It's fun to surprise people with it
yeah.
because we
It's always a
usually get a
spontaneous
reaction
thing.
like this of like the oh my god, or sometimes people just instantly they're like this song, this is the song.
Yep.
So what
Um,
about now? I'm
All
curious
good.
though. What is your personal all-time song? You personally?
God, it'd probably be Talking Heads.
oh,
Hmm.
Something on Talking Heads.
any
Okay.
Talking Head song would be a
And
great answer for
really,
this.
Burning Down. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
this must be
There's
the
so many.
place.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Once
I
in a
mean,
lifetime.
God, I know. I mean, there's so many you could pick.
Yeah.
So I can't pick one, but I would just go with Talking Heads across the board.
All right. I love it.
Hmm.
Well,
Amazing.
and we are so happy that you could join us today. And
This
if you
was
have
fun,
not already
guys.
subscribed to Anne, please go hit the orange button in the upper left corner of your chat window if it's there, and subscribe to Anne. And Anne and I will be, we're kind of thinking Tuesdays, maybe the 10 a.m. slot. We're not sure. But we're going to do a 4 week series on the economy and building an integrated economy. And how would you, let's hear your pitch for it.
Well, an integrative economy is, excuse me, is really looking at how we can transition our current economy and recognize that what's happening. Like one of the biggest things that's happening is the fastest growing employment sector in the country right now is the nonprofit sector. The
Really?
problem with that is that it is a stepchild of the private sector and the government sector, right? It is dependent on either government grants or private philanthropy. When those go, that work is not funded, but the need for that work is still there. We're
Hmm.
going to have to deal with that. And so that's what we'll be talking about in our
Interesting.
4 weeks is how do we start making new systems so this can be transitioned and set up for the next a next economy that's going to be a win-win despite, and I know Lawrence, you and I will be talking a lot about AI. I wrote an article about AI is fucked up if they don't support an integrative economy because right now the resistance to it is most people don't want it because it's going to take their jobs away. It doesn't
Right.
have to do that if we could switch to an integrative economy. So that's what we'll be talking about in those 4 weeks, and it'll be lots and lots of fun.
Yeah. And we don't expect that we're going to like solve everything in 4 weeks. We're just trying to get the conversation started
Mhm.
and, maybe other things grow out of it. Like I think, I would hope that we spur enough conversation that people want to continue or form a group to
Yeah,
talk about how to keep going. So,
Oh my
absolutely.
God.
Yeah.
Fascinating. I can't wait to
And
hear this.
Yeah, and it'll be practical and tangible. It's not theory. The way I work is to bring it down to the ground level of here are concrete steps we can take, and they're doable right now. And yes, because we have to do it.
Yeah.
We
Have to
do.
do it.
All
Great.
right, everybody. Thanks so much.
We'll
We'll see
Have a
you
great
see you
next week
Juneteenth.
on Friday.
next Friday.
Bye, guys. Thanks for having me. It was a
Love
blast.
you. This was so much fun, Anne. Thank you
Thanks,
for
Ann.
being here. Love you all. Mean it.
Love you, mean it.
See you
Bye.
soon.
Mwah.
Bye.
Bye.
Mwah.